When I was a young girl, every time I tripped and fell, my mother would look at my hands, elbows, and knees. If I was cut, she would hand me a Band-Aid and tell me to be careful. While my grandma would look at me no matter the cuts on my elbows and say, "Nothing's broken, she's fine," and send me off again because my grandma is a tough woman. She rides horses and doesn't let her age define her ability. And my mother is a tough woman. She raises 3 kids and doesn't let the lack of a husband get in the way of her doing so. Yet despite these two being in my life, I am not a tough woman. After my father left, my mother pulled me out of school to go to a place I'd never seen before. They sat me down in a room with some paper and crayons and told me to draw how I was feeling. As the woman asked me questions, she asked my mom some things, and my mom pointed out that I would cry over every little thing, which is true in those days. I went one more time, and both times that woman I didn't know told me to pull back on the reins. Back then, I didn't know that the woman I was talking to was a therapist, but I told my mother I didn't need one. I thought I was tough enough. But now that I'm older with more life experience, I realize I might need one more than ever. But for different reasons now, I've never talked to a doctor about disorders or depression, but I don't need a man with a clipboard to tell me that there is something wrong with hating yourself. And I don't need cuts on my wrists to tell me that I'm not as happy as I could be, but people seem to think that I need visible scars and a permanent frown to be allowed to say I have a problem, because apparently I don't look the part. But if you look closely, I have dark circles under my eyes from the countless nights of sitting alone with a laptop because I had found a website called the Thoughts Room where I could type in all my problems and it would disappear from the screen, an animation of crumbling and falling that I found to be of comfort. If you see me at home, you'll see a box and a jar, a box full of things that I love, little notes from my friends that I've collected over the years, small notebooks of thoughts and things that are soft to the touch, a jar with a silk ribbon and a tiny light tied around it, half full of white paper stars. Because I had been told that you could put wishes in them, but after I had made so many, I could no longer think of any more wishes. I simply made them because it was calming. I brought strips of paper to school so I could make them when I felt stressed, and my teacher told me it was such a Michelle thing to do. I don't know why, but I suppose he's right. My thoughts room, my box, my paper stars. These things are what I keep for when I feel the pressure, the weight of my own thoughts, the ache of knowing it would be so easy to give in, but I'm always afraid of people would think if I started wearing thicker bracelets. If my mother would bother listening to me if I said I wanted help, but now that I'm older, I don't have my mother keeping her close eye on me, ready with a Band-Aid and a be careful. Now I have what I need in my back pockets, my poems, my stars, my notes, my own Band-Aids, my own be carefuls.